Hello, everyone. I want to make a quick video. I don't want to overload you with too many videos and commentaries, but so I'll just get right to the point. As we look at our second reading, Thomas Nagel's death, one of the things I'm sure that I have emphasized in the videos is a very essential point, and it is in Nagel's argument that Epicurus was wrong. I mean, he doesn't mention Epicurus by name, but we know kind of what he's talking about or who he's talking about. His argument that Epicurus was wrong in saying that death can never be said to be bad for the one who dies. There's really a key passage in Nagel's essay, and that is on page 77, the man who has the devastating brain injury. I want to make one point about this and about Nagel's general argument. Of course, it's very important to see that Nagel is saying that death is a bad insofar as it is a loss of goods. But it's also very important to see that he has to go farther in the argument and prove that a loss of goods can still be a misfortune for somebody who doesn't mind the loss. That is key. So when he gives us this hypothetical about the man who suffers the brain injury and argues that he has indeed suffered a bad, it's not just that he's lost a lot. It's that he is unaware of the loss. But still, Nagel says, we would say that something bad happened to him, despite the fact that he was unaware. This is so key to his argument that death is a bad for the one who dies, because we could certainly say that death is a loss. But Nagel would say, and any Epicurean would agree, that the dead person is not aware of the loss. So to say that death is a loss of goods, and therefore Epicurus is wrong, that's not a very strong argument. You have to argue that death is a loss of goods, and even though the dead are not aware of the loss, it's still a loss for them. And that's the hardest thing that Nagel has to argue, because that's a very questionable move. But I don't want to resolve that issue here, but just point out that as you're reading Nagel, as you're looking at the study questions, or you're looking at the videos this week, keep that in mind, that the issue of awareness. Can something be a bad for somebody, a misfortune, an evil, if they are not aware of it and therefore don't mind the occurrence? And more specifically, if you lose something, if you lose a good, is it bad if you don't mind the loss? Because that is the death situation, right? The dead have lost everything, but they don't mind the loss. Nagel wants to say that even though they don't mind it because they don't exist, it's still a loss. It's not as if we have to solve that problem so much as we need to be aware that that is the problem that Nagel has to address to be successful.